So, some weird things happened here on the Foltz-Bailey Railroad, and unfortunately, we've got a casualty. It's hard to explain. So, when I hooked up when I finally got JMRI running, I had decided that I was going to leave my railroad, the track lines active. I was going to leave the system on so that I could look at it and play with it in JMRI whenever I wanted to without having to come into the train room and power everything up. I was just going to leave it here. I actually got a really cool night shot. Take a look at this. And that was from the other night. I lined up 4 locos. If you could see, they are all in line. All right. Now, flip back to tonight. We've got some storms rolling through the area. We lost power a couple times for a couple brief moments. I knew the railroad was going to reset. Luckily, I had to come downstairs to grab a flashlight when the power was out. On my way down here, the power came back on. So I stepped into the train room, which is where I keep all the utilities and supplies, and I noticed the light was on the surge protection bulb underneath the layout. Let me explain to you what that is. I had it in a previous video, but I just want to give you a walkthrough. Let me flip you around. All right, so on my layout, I've got this toggle button. It's really just, it's a light switch that you would use in your house. It's just got a really fancy cover on it that makes it look like the old-time joysticks from an arcade game. Here, let me turn the lights on in the back. That box actually controls that outlet that's over there. So anytime there's power going directly to that outlet, and then it's routed from that outlet into this box. So when the switch is turned on and off, it basically just turns on and off that outlet. Now, in that outlet, down here on the bottom, is a surge protector. So when the system is turned off, which it's on right now, so I'm going to turn it off, and you'll notice my layout goes out. It takes a couple seconds for all the power to drain, but everything does go out. So I was keeping the layout on, right? Now you can hear my locos. My locos all just fired up. Give me a second. I'm going to turn the sound off on all those. Now, if you notice from the night shot, there were 4 locos lined up here. Now there's only 2. Well, what I had noticed when I came down here is this surge protection light. I'm going to turn over the overhead lights. See these bulbs right here? When there's a shortage on the track, one of these bulbs would light up. So there's a bulb for lane 1, lane 2, lane 3. So I'll show you what that's like. I'm just going to take a metal brush. I'm going to lay it across the track right here. And you'll notice under here, the light comes on. So it tells me exactly which track is shorted. Now, when that short happens, it does not throw off my system. So that bulb is absorbing the amperage that's going through the track enough that it doesn't cause any damage to the system, and the system stays live. Well, again, back to the locos here. What I had realized is I no longer have 4 locos. For some reason, BNSF backed up, hit a piece of styrofoam, and fell off the track. Down here, this train was all backed up into that tunnel. The lead locomotive was this guy right here. He was sitting right here over this switch. Now, on this side is a different power district. You can see there's some insulated rail joiners there. So there were a set of the back trucks were over here and the front trucks were over there. Somehow or another, that train moved over there, and this train moved from over there all the way over there, and nobody was down here. Nobody knows how to run these trains but me. I wasn't in JMRI. Nothing was happening there. But to any rate, these trains moved. Problem was, this guy derailed. And he derailed in such a way that the back trucks were still on, but the front trucks went cockeyed. And here's our casualty. Now, you can see the plastic on the outside there is obviously melted. But what hurts the worst is, and I'm not sure, I'm trying to hold it as steady as I can. Look at that axle on the front. That axle is bent, melted in a weird direction where now this truck won't run straight. So now I've got to take this guy apart, and it is, I believe, who makes this thing? It's a Walthers. So now I got to contact Walthers and see if I just need to replace the axle or if I need to replace the entire truck. So in the long run, I have no clue whatsoever as to why the locos moved. I couldn't tell you. And why only 2 out of all 4. Now, the only thing that I can tell you, or that would make any sense, is that the 2 blue guys, the 2 Conrail trains, they're programmed into running on my wireless cab, which is, or was at the time, turned off. The other 2 locomotives are programmed into my other NCE Pro cab, which is wired in all the time. So could it have been something that was going on with the Pro cab as the power was fluctuating on and off? I don't know. The funny thing is, my CN locomotive over here is also programmed on that same throttle, and he didn't move. So strange, very strange. So what did we learn from this? Well, I could tell you what I learned. As easy as it might be to leave the tracks powered up all the time, I no longer trust it, and I'm not going to do that. So casualty happened, hoping that glad that it wasn't anything worse, because Lord knows what would happen if I didn't come down here and look in here, later in the day, tomorrow. Who knows the next time I would have been down here, and that thing would have been sitting here melting on the track for what could have been days, hours. I honestly don't know how long it was sitting there like that. If I can remember, the last time I was in here was maybe at least a day or 2 ago. And I don't remember it happening then. So, lesson learned. The track will now stay off when I'm not here. And, yeah, keep an eye on your locos, guys, because runaways happen. Thanks for watching.